When I say I'm overwhelmed, Martin, what does that mean to you?
Got static electricity, I can't get things done.
I can't do this. I need a nap. I need to take a break.
It's the point of declining return. You put in one more ounce of effort and you lose two.
But the point is, overwhelmed is subjective. What does that mean to people? There's a green zone where you're comfortable. There's a yellow zone where you're stretching. There's an orange zone where you're straining. And there's a red zone, and that's where you're overwhelmed. The secret is to keep all of your employees in the yellow zone. Yellow means you're growing. Because you're doing what you're doing right now, you're gonna be at a better place in 1 year.
Beautiful. It's a great point, and just a great mental model.
Expert advice, practical tips, real life stories. Have less stress, more time, and more money in your business. Welcome to the Cash Flow Contractor.
So, Martin, we obviously help a lot of contractors hire different roles, starting to do some US roles, which is fun. But a big thing that comes up, we help with the training and the onboarding of these roles. And when we're, there's different people have different definitions of things, is basically the problem when it's subjective. Like when I say I'm overwhelmed, Martin, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I don't know, basically.
Well, I'm
I know
curious,
what overwhelm is.
but what does it mean to you?
Self-identified. I got static electricity. I can't get things done. I've got clients who are overwhelmed, and there's no doubt about it, and anybody would recognize it.
If I tell someone that I'm overwhelmed, Martin, what I'm saying when I say I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this. I need a nap. I need to take a break. I need a vacation. I need to go on a retreat. No mas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what if you hear me say overwhelmed, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and it's the point of declining return. You put in one more ounce of effort and you lose two.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
that's
there's
what
a point.
overwhelmed
Yeah.
means to me. Now, overwhelmed means what that might mean to you is you've got a busy plate on your schedule, you know?
No, it means, if truly overwhelmed means if I do more, I get less than I had if I had done nothing, because I just cannot do it, can't process it.
But
there's a point where you set stuff down and go home.
But the point is, overwhelmed is subjective. What does that mean to people, right? And especially, we work with a lot of people, we're training a lot of people that are overseas, that English is their second language. So they may use the word overwhelmed, but that's just because their vocabulary may not be at the point where they can say, I'm running out of capacity, or you know what I'm saying? They may just use the word overwhelmed because that's the fastest word they can think of. And so this exact situation happened. And it's not the only time this has happened. This has happened so many times. But we've got someone that's 2 months in, 3 months into their role. They're doing a really great job. They're learning quickly. They're doing really well. But they're telling their boss that they're overwhelmed, right? And I meet with this person fairly, I see them a lot. I don't get the sense that they're overwhelmed. I think they're doing a great job, right? Yeah. And so I'm very confused, and even the boss that I talk to is like, I'm concerned because she's saying she's overwhelmed, and I want her to just, this is the main thing she needs to do. I'm giving her other stuff, but if she can do this well, I don't care. I want her to do these other things, but right. So anyways, I was in another workshop thing, and I got a really great framework for how to handle situations like this. And it's about having a performance zone. So I walked through this with her, right, to basically define. So essentially the performance zones, there's 4 of them. Okay. There's a green zone where you're comfortable. There's a yellow zone where you're stretching. There's an orange zone where you're straining, and there's a red zone, and that's where you're overwhelmed. Okay. And so I'll go into what these are, but the whole idea is when you're a manager and you're working with someone and someone says that they're overwhelmed, or they're struggling, or they're out of capacity, or that they don't have anything to do, or whatever it is, you should be able to understand where are they at in the performance zones. Are they green, yellow, orange, or red, right? And the secret is to keep all of your employees in the yellow zone. And I think this comes from military. I'm not exactly sure the source of this. But anyways, I'll stop there.
Yeah,
what questions do you have? I know that you've got some.
Well, first is a comment, and that aligns with Pink's. We've talked about it, but what employees want: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Mm-hmm. So stretch is you're getting, you're learning something, you're growing,
exactly.
know it, and people have to have that. But yeah, these are subjective.
Very subjective.
And so my question would be, how do you rank them and how do you use them? Okay. I mean, I can think of ways.
Yeah.
But that's my question.
So the first thing I'll say is they're subjective, but they're more objective than not using them, right? So at least you are coming up with a definition, because that's part of the problem is if you're not doing this, we're just operating in an open canvas, right?
Right.
Whereas this is giving us at least some lines. I'm not saying it's full color, but we've got some lines on the canvas to understand, right? And so one thing you can do is teach it to your employees. You can make it a part of your language, right? Where when you're doing your one-on-ones, whenever you're talking to people, you help them understand, hey, here's the chart. You can make one, you can print it out. Maybe I'll have our team make one for you that you can grab from the show notes. I'll say that today. You can go in the show notes. My team's gonna be like, oh gosh, dang it. You can click on the link and you can get an image or a PDF and you can download it and you can print it out and put it on all over the building, right? You can put it in all your resources. So, but you give that to me and say, hey, listen, this is the performance zones. We want you in the yellow. The yellow is the sweet spot. You want to be in the yellow, not just for our company, but for your career, for your development as a professional, et cetera, et cetera. And this is what green looks like. And here's what is wrong with green, right? Here's what orange looks like. Orange is going to happen. I can guarantee it as your boss. You will get into the orange where you're straining. It's your responsibility to tell me, right? In the red zone, I don't want you there. If you get to the red zone and you never told me that you were in the orange zone, part of that's your fault, right? And if I see you in the red zone for too long and you're not speaking up about it, like we're going to have problems.
Right.
Quick ad break. It's for me personally. I've got to promote my business and you are my target audience. If you're a contractor, you're running a business that's north of 500,000 in revenue, you already know the grind. You're the salesperson, the project manager, the HR department, and the guy that's fixing problems on the weekends and at 9 p.m. because you own the business and you're responsible. But I've got something for you. I built Growth Kits just to solve your problem of the chaos that comes with growth. It's a membership that gives you a growth team that's in your corner. It helps with staff, systems, and software. So you don't have to go and hire a bunch of people that you can't afford yet to fix problems that you've never fixed before. If you need to get work off your plate, we help you get up to 3 global talent hires per year as a part of our membership so that you can find low cost, low overhead positions to really take the admin work off of your plate. We mentor them for you weekly so that you're not stuck training someone from scratch. And if you need to give further training to them and other people on your team, we provide workshops to anyone that's at your company. Let me read off some of these first. Workshop titles: Own Outcomes, Not Tasks. 6 weeks going over that with your team in a very engaged setting that's virtual. Client Success and Retention: How to Handle Difficult Conversations. Communication and Meetings Mastery. Delegation Mastery, Business Financial Literacy, and How to Implement AI. That's just a few. We have over 21 workshops that are different going on throughout the year in 2026. If you need to talk through a decision on software or whatever it is, you can talk to anyone on our team to support you in your growth as a construction company. We also provide monthly masterminds with other owners who get it. So it's one membership. It's $600 a month. Your business gets more efficient and not more overwhelming as you grow. That is our goal with the Growth Kits membership. So if you've been white knuckling it and you're wondering when it's gonna get easier, this is how you do it. You book a call that's in the show notes. I wanna talk to you about it. and then I will show you exactly how we will help you remove some of the roadblocks in your business to growth and help you become more efficient and not more chaotic. Back to the episode. So let me go through these in a little bit more detail. Green zone is typically where people find themselves 2 years into the role, 1 year into the role. If they're in the green zone when they're in the first 9 days, then you're doing something wrong as their manager. But the green zone is where you know what you're doing. The tasks are routine. You find flow really easily. You execute without much thought, right? If someone's 10 years into a business, they probably dip into the green zone a lot because they just understand so much.
Yeah.
They just have it down. But if they're in year 1, year 2, and they're getting into the green zone, you're not getting the most out of that person, right? Yellow zone, where we want to be, is you're learning regularly. Some tasks make you think before you do something. You're having to think critically. You're having to document what you're learning. You're going into new territories, right? You're improving your work constantly. You're making mistakes, but you're catching them and learning from them fast, right? You're slightly uncomfortable, but you're still executing. There's that push project that's on the side that you're trying to implement into the business, but you've got your existing work, but you're thinking about that project, right? This is where you want to be. It's where
you're challenged and have fun too. If you're
exactly
the right kind of person.
And during the onboarding, people may be going into the orange zone, but you really want them in the yellow zone. Make it to where, they have something they can do and they can execute and they know what they're doing. But then there's something that they're improving. They're getting to the next step, right?
Yep.
In the orange zone, it's, okay, you're juggling more than you can hold cleanly. We were in the yellow zone. You were doing your job really well. You were pushing yourself, and we gave you another project on the side to handle and another one. And you've got 3 different initiatives while you're still doing your main tasks that are happening all the time, every day. Okay, we've gotten you into the orange zone, right? You can't hold on to things cleanly. Things are starting to pile up. Things are starting to slip. And it's not because you're lazy or incapable. It's because the volume of what we've given you is too much, or the complexity of what we've given you is beyond your current capabilities, right? That's what the orange zone is. And typically when they're in the orange zone, they need to understand prioritization, right? Oh, hey, I know we gave you those projects. This one can wait 3 months. It's just that we want you to be the one responsible, owning that, right? So as a manager, you need to help them prioritize, and then you may need to help them pause certain things. And then you also may need to offer some support and coaching through a specific challenge. When someone's in the orange zone, it's usually the manager's fault, not necessarily the employee's fault. Okay?
Perfect sense. Yeah.
The only fault that would be on the employee is not communicating.
That's me managing me. I'm in the orange a lot, not by intent, but I find myself there because I take on too much. And for me, the characteristics that put me in orange is I don't know how to do that. I mean, I see that has to happen. I don't know the strategy, the steps we're going to take. That's my personal. But then that's a challenge too.
That's AI really can help you in the orange zone.
Oh,
but it can also push you into the orange zone. So be careful.
Yeah. So far, it's been, I mean, writing another book.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years to write the first one. The second one, I'm using AI, and it is not writing a single word, maybe a single word, but it's not writing it. I take what I write and I put it in, and I go, what do you think about this? Does it transition to the next?
It's your editor.
Paragraph? It is an editor, and I can edit the entire book every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, or I can put up a chapter. Yeah. And I get feedback. I was thinking about that this morning. I'm very enthusiastic about it, and it's feedback, which is a lesson for our listeners too. Give your people feedback.
That's a great, give your people feedback.
I mean, it is, and it's all AI, and there's some other, anyway, we're not talking about AI again, but if an old guy like me can use it, and I mean, the editing is one thing, but there's financial stuff. Oh man.
Yeah.
I've got a little thing called, let's stay on the colors. I want to talk to you about the Pocket CFO. But
Okay.
anyway.
So
Anyway, we're at orange. We're straining. We strain because I go too far afield in our discussions. So
Yeah.
we'll reel it back and say I was pushing at the red zone.
yeah, when you're in the red zone, you can't execute your core responsibilities.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's like you said, every ounce of effort put in, you're moving backwards.
You go backwards.
Yeah. Stress
Your
is
hands are
affecting
shaking.
your quality, your attitude, your personal life. You're shutting down or you're spinning out and you're not producing an output. And an intervention has to happen. You have to completely reduce the load. This is where you're clarifying responsibilities, right? You're probably having an honest conversation about whether the pace fits this person or if the role fits this person, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I've got an article out
Yeah.
there, and I think it's titled "When Things Go Wrong," but that's part of the point. You got all these things piling up on you. Your wife's going to divorce you. You got the flu. You don't know how to answer this problem. 5 customers on you. You're running out of money. You're going to die. And I say, okay, screw it.
Yeah.
We're going to die. But in the meantime, while you're waiting to die, do one thing. And when you get that one little thing done, in other words, go back to the yellow, or maybe even green, do another thing.
yeah.
And then when a week later, your wife didn't divorce you, you didn't get the flu, or you got over the flu, you didn't die, you return those phone calls you were dreading and they weren't what you thought, you will not only have come out of the red zone, you will have made some progress.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so what can you actually do with this? Let's make it really actionable and we can make this a shorter episode. I think people understand the framework. What can you actually do? The first thing that you have to do is teach it to your team, right?
Yeah.
Don't just like have this, oh yeah, I'm trying to keep them in the yellow. No, it needs to be something that's understood.
They need
It's-
to report so you know where they are.
Exactly. So you have
Yeah.
to teach it and then have them define what that actually looks like.
Yeah.
Like very specific. It means that I'm able to organize my notes. It means that I've got a project that I'm actively working on Fridays when things are slower. Whatever that means, define what each zone looks like for each person. Okay. Green for this kind of person is different for that kind of person. For this role in our company than this kind of role. Define what those things look like, right? And be very clear about them and talk about them regularly. The next thing that you can do is whenever you have your evaluations, your one-on-one, whatever it is, you're passing by someone in the break room, whatever.
What color are you?
Yes. What zone are you in right now?
Yeah, it's great
Right.
collection, information collection. Yeah.
What's
Great
keeping you
idea.
there is another good question, right? You're in the yellow zone. How are you staying in the yellow zone? You're in the green zone. How are you staying in the yellow zone?
What happened? How'd you get there? Yeah.
Yeah. What's keeping you there? You got there somehow. Why aren't you getting back to where you're supposed to be? And how are you doing so good at staying in the yellow zone? I want to know those things, right?
Yeah.
Then as the manager, you should have a clear set of actions that you can do based upon what they say. They say they're in the green, I should be adding responsibility. I need to have stretch assignments for this person, right? They're in the yellow zone, I need to reinforce. I need to say, this is great. I need to be giving them feedback regularly. I don't need to be stepping into their work too much, right? Orange zone, I might need to insert myself a little bit, right? I need to help them prioritize. I need to may need to clarify some expectations, right?
Yep.
Red zone, I need to have a full-on meeting with them and intervene. Something big has got to change. You're going to notice red zone. If you're not noticing red zone, you're a bad manager because it means that work is suffering. And if work is suffering, you should know about it, right? Then the last step, you have to normalize yellow, right? And it's a really important thing because a lot of employees are going to think.
What does that mean?
I mean, people are just like in the example I gave you, right at the beginning. I'm overwhelmed, right? And it's just so much to take in right now. Normalize that. Hey, yellow's not a problem. It's not overwhelming or stressful. Red is over, and if that's where you are, tell me. But this is your job. Yellow means you're growing. You're going to be because you're doing what you're doing right now, you're going to be in a better place in 1 year.
Right.
Because you're doing what you're doing right now, our company
Give
is
them
improving.
purpose.
Right?
Yeah. Show them
Help
the
them
purpose.
understand that yellow is where they, not where they need to be, it's where they want to be.
Yeah,
right?
It's where you grow.
And you have to, and this is one thing that people fail inside of the onboarding process. It's either they just give all this responsibility and then they back out. And so it's really putting them into the red zone right away. But the alternative to that is, okay, we've hired them. I've given them responsibility. I haven't shown them how to do it, and I am not following up with it. And so they're in the green zone because they're checking emails or they're, active in our project management system or they're talking to clients, but they're not actually doing all of their responsibilities. And so they sit in the green zone and think that everything's okay. And they're not actually using their full capacity. You have to get them into the yellow zone as quickly as possible in onboarding. Right? So,
I like the idea that everybody, I literally was thinking of a badge.
Yeah, seriously.
Have
Wear
it on
put it
your
on
door
when you
with
walk in the door.
sliders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the disc profile where your type on your, but that's a great idea. It's just the vernacular of the company. If you've got somebody that's always overwhelmed and got a modicum of work to do, maybe they need to go work with, an animal shelter. And love on the dog. Of course, there are a lot of negative things can happen there too. So, no, it's a great point. Great point. And just a great mental model.
Yeah, it is.
Just make it
Just
part
even
of the
understanding
vocabulary.
like comfort's not the goal in your role.
Yeah.
Right. Something that I tell people as well, and this can be helpful when you're trying to normalize the yellow, but if you want to grow, and I think most of our listeners want to have employees with a growth mindset, the growth equation, the growth formula is pain plus rest equals growth, or challenge plus reflection equals growth. Same thing. Okay. What I mean by that is if I'm trying to grow my biceps and I do 5 curls with a 5-pound dumbbell, I'm not having any pain and my biceps probably not going to grow. But if I do 10,000 curls with a 10-pound dumbbell in one afternoon, I am
David
going to tear
Goggins.
that muscle.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not going to grow. And so you have to have the combination of the pain of like, okay, I've got a 20-pound dumbbell. I did 40 curls in one arm and I did 3 sets over the course of 45 minutes. Right? Okay, I'm stopping and I'm not doing biceps tomorrow. That's my rest. And then it grows. No different with your employees. You're giving them these projects that are challenging, these initiatives that are challenging, right? They should be challenged in it, but you've got to help them reflect on what they're learning in the challenges, right? And they need to know how to self-reflect on what they've been challenged through and how they can improve so that they can grow, right? And so you have to keep them in that yellow zone. You have to keep challenging them. And then you have to give them the opportunity to reflect on those things to be able to improve from there on out. So anyways,
Beautiful.
there you go. All right.
Okay, great. I'm going to use that this afternoon. I
There
know
you go.
right with whom. There we go.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Martin.
Okay, man.
Good to
we'll
see you.
see you next week.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
You made it to the end of the episode, but before you go, if you found yourself thinking about growing your construction business while listening today, I want to share something with you. It's called our 24 Things to Hiring and Training the Perfect Executive Assistant for Your Construction Business. And it's a free guide that we've created. It's not theory. It's what we actually use to help contractors hire the perfect executive assistant. And really, we help you find ways to delegate over 50% of your current workload and get back 20 hours of your time every single week. You didn't start your construction business to just be doing admin work, to be buried in paperwork and endless admin tasks. This is the guide that shows you exactly how to find and train someone who can actually take all that weight off of your shoulders. So this is a real actionable, great PDF that has templates and processes. It's really, really great. and I want you to check it out, even just to get your feedback and how we can make it even more valuable. But I know that you're gonna love it. The link is in the show notes. Please download it. We'd love to see how much of an impact it makes on you and your business. Thanks for listening to the full episode. Check out the guide. It's free. No reason to hesitate. No reason to wait. Download it now. And before you go, I just want to ask for your gracious subscription to our podcast. So if you have 2 seconds, it means the world to us. Just subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or if you'd like our weekly newsletter delivered to your inbox whenever we release an episode, please subscribe in the show notes. Every week, we're talking about real strategies on how you can grow and build a profitable construction business that runs without you, so you can have less stress, more time, and more money. Click subscribe wherever you listen to the show, and thank you again for checking out the Cashflow Contractor. See you on the next episode.